Good evening and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about the 2025 Oscars predictions for the month of August. I apologize that this video took a little bit to come out. Lots of things have come up, but I am back to making some Oscar predictions. So what I'm going to do for this video is that I'm going to just talk about the picture, acting, and the screenplay categories as well as director. And then I will create a separate video talking about the rest of the categories. And I'm gonna mix it up a bit to where what users usually do. And I'm going to talk about my predictions, and I'm gonna compare them to the community from award experts. If you watch the Oscar Expert, Brother Bro has an app called Awards Expert, and I'm gonna take what the community is thinking and I'm gonna compare it to what I have. Alright, so let's jump right into this. Starting with Best Picture, what I have for number one right now as Best Picture is Begonia. This is Yorgos Lanthimos' next movie. And the trailer dropped about a couple weeks ago or a month ago, and it looks really good. It's focused on like a wealthy investor played by Emma Stone, and then Jesse Plemons is in the movie as well, and it's got that Lanthimos glare to it. Maybe third time around at the Oscars, maybe his film could win Best Picture. This is definitely going to be a big contender, and I do think this movie has a lot going for it, for what it could get in terms of its package. Like Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons look like they're going to get nominated. It's probably going to get a screenplay nomination as well as director and a bunch of tech categories. And I think Begonia is a really good bet. But what the community right now has in their number one Best Picture, which I don't disagree with, is Sinners. Sinners came out in March, and this is Ryan Coogler's movie. It's kind of like a vampire horror film, and it came out in March, which is like very good reviews, like critical acclaim. It's like a part musical and everything. I'm sure you know what the movie is about. I don't really talk in length about this movie, but it's got so much potential. It's gonna get double-digit nominations, and Ryan Coogler could even win Best Director. It's gonna be like a juggernaut. It's got so much tech potential. People are talking about it, how it's like genre bending and everything because it blends all different types of genres. And it's got everything that it needs for an Oscar package. It's basically like the everything everywhere of this year is basically the best way to describe it. So Sinners is number two. I think number one and number two are pretty hand in hand. Another film that also a lot of people put in number one is Sentimental Value. This is the director from Worst Person in the World, Joachim Trier. I'm not sure if I said that right. But this is his next film, and this premiered at Cannes, where it got critical acclaim reviews. And this got like Grand Prix at Cannes. It won like the second place prize. I'll talk about what won the Palm there later. But this film, it's got acting potential. Like Renee Rounsfeld's once again the lead, and she's gonna get nominated. Stellan Skarsgård looks like he's gonna win supporting actor, which we'll get to him as well. And it's gonna get like film editing. It's got like all this package. Like it's got the whole package here. Four, I have Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme. This is Josh Safdie. He's one of the Safdie brothers, along with his brother Ben Safdie, who's also releasing a film later this year, The Smashing Machine. And the Oscar Expert has this movie in his top 10, and it stars Timothée Chalamet. It's a biopic about sports and stuff, and I think it's got like really good potential for it. It's headed for a December release, and I think that it will do very well at the Oscars if it does get that awards attention. The one thing with this movie though is that the upcoming film festivals, it's not premiering at any of them, but I think that this movie, when it comes out during that awards time, and I think it's gonna get that attention that it'll get. My next one I have is Wicked for Good, and the trailer came out a couple weeks ago, and it looks just as good as the original. I mean, Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, they could get nominated again. You have a lot of tech potential with the movie. I think it makes a lot of sense to put that in. My number five is Jay Kelly. This is a George Clooney led film. This is Noah Baumbach's next movie. It also stars Adam Sandler, as well as Laura Dern is also in this as well. It seems like it's gonna be a really good movie. This is a George Clooney led film, and George Clooney could actually get an acting nomination after like being absent for a pretty long time. I mean, I think the last acting nomination that George Clooney got was for The Descendants, and that was like over 10 years ago, back in 2011. So, Jay Kelly, I feel pretty good about. My number six, I have Springsteen Deliver Me from Nowhere. This is once again another biopic movie about Bruce Springsteen. It's Jeremy Allen White, who if you've watched The Bear, is playing Bruce Springsteen. And the trailer came out. It looks really good. It's like that, that conventional Oscar bait stuff. But the reason why I have this in here is because just seems like the sort of movie that will just get in. It's gonna be appealing to a lot of people. We doubted Elvis. We doubted Complete Unknown, and those movies got into Best Picture. I mean, this is like Bohemian Rhapsody, Elvis, Complete Unknown. It's just, we can't doubt the biopic movies anymore, especially focused on musical artists. So, and it looks really good. It's directed by Scott Cooper. I'm actually really excited to watch this when it releases in October. And it's going to get a lot of potential with it. It also has Jeremy Strong, who will probably get supporting actor. He's just coming off of a nomination from The Apprentice. So I feel really good about that. And then my number eight, this is a movie that a lot of people don't have, but people have been putting it in more recently because there was an image release, and this is called The Testament of Anne Lee. This movie, if you in my awards history, I've had this movie like since the beginning, like April. The director is Mona Fazvode, which is the wife, or I think the partner of Brady Corbet, who obviously directed The Brutalist. That film won like 3 Oscars. Adrian Brody won lead actor, got 10 nominations. And this movie, his partner, his wife, is directing it, and it stars Amanda Seyfried, and it stars Thomasin McKenzie. Anne Lee is a Quaker. It has like a lot of religious messages with it, and it just makes a lot of sense to get into Best Picture, right? And right now on Gold Derby, this is like number 14th. But when the poll was first released, it was like down like the low 20s or something. I've been having this in my top 10 since the beginning. I just think that this movie just has so much tech potential. It's also like a musical, so it's gonna get like score, and it's gonna get a song nomination somewhere. And I feel really good about it. I think Amanda Seyfried is an obvious Best Actor contender. It could get director. It could get screenplay. I think that there's a lot riding with this movie, and it's going to be premiering at Venice. And if it gets really good reviews, which I think it will, this movie's going to get in Best Picture. I mean, no doubt about it. I think Anne Lee, this movie makes a lot of sense to get in, and I'm a little surprised that people are not predicting not more people are predicting this movie, because I think it just has all the right cards. It has all the right ingredients to get nominated. My number 9 is Rental Family. This is a movie that more people have been putting on recently. This is a movie that's starring Brendan Fraser, and it's got like a lot of supporting actors in it, a lot of supporting actor potential, and it kind of just feels like it's going to be like a feel-good comedy drama film, kind of like The Holdovers. It feels like it's going to be The Holdovers of this movie, where it's going to have like very sharp writing, very clever writing with it. And it's premiering, I believe at TIFF it's premiering. And I think it has a lot of potential to do very well. A lot of people were not putting this in their predictions because people just like did not know about it. But then we got a still from Brendan Fraser, and Brendan Fraser looks really good. He's probably going to get another Oscar nomination potentially. And, we don't know much about the director, which is Hakira. But I think this movie could easily just get in. I think it has the ingredients to get in. It just needs to hit those marks with it. And then my number 10 is Frankenstein. This is Guillermo del Toro's next movie after Pinocchio. It stars Oscar Isaac, who was like, the inventor of Frankenstein. and he could maybe get a Best Actor nomination. Best Actor is pretty competitive. We'll get into that. Um, but a lot of people don't have Frankenstein in right now. I think on Award Expert, it's number 13th, which I actually have seen it lower than that. Um, but I have this in because of the tech potential it has and the fact that it could just pull a Nightmare Alley where it may not get any actors nominated, but it's just like secure in a bunch of like tech nominations. Like the cinematography looks really good in this movie. There's a trailer out already. I think it's gonna get a cinematography nomination. It can get like makeup as well as like costumes, and the score is Alexander Desplat. This movie I think makes a lot of sense if it does get into Best Picture, but I do see some hesitancy with it because Nosferatu didn't get into Best Picture, and Guillermo del Toro hasn't been at the top of his game since The Shape of Water, but I think this movie does make a lot of sense. My number 11 I have is After the Hunt. This is number 10 on the Community right now. This is Luca Guadagnino's next movie after Challengers and Queer from last year, and it looks really good. It stars Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield. But the reason why I don't have this in right now, and when we get to the screenplay categories, it'll make sense, is the fact that I don't think it's secure in screenplay. I think that there's a lot of it's likely going to be competing in original screenplay, and there's a lot of competition in that category. And I think this is just like that sort of movie that it touches on social issues, and it's also like a thriller also. And I think that it needs to get a screenplay nomination in order to get into picture. I can easily just see this movie just pulling a Being the Ricardos or The Master, where it just gets acting nominations and then that's it. My number 12, this is going to shock people, but it's One Battle After Another. Now, why do I have One Battle After Another? Now, this was like number 1 on the Community, like way back in like May when the trailer hit. And right now on Community, it's at number 6. So, and it's directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, a filmmaker that I really love. So, why do I have this movie outside of the top 10? Well, it's because it just doesn't like give me good vibes with it, okay? Like I watched the trailer and it honestly just feels a little underwhelming, to be honest. It doesn't really seem like it's gonna do anything that will really make it stand out and make it very memorable. Leonardo DiCaprio is pulling the lead, which probably not a good idea to bet against DiCaprio and Paul Thomas Anderson. But even he's not secure for a nomination. He's not even in the top 5 in the Community. So when we get the Best Actor, we'll talk about him more. But like still, the fact that DiCaprio's not in the top 5 in a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, and he's not predicted. It's I just gotta have like some bad vibes with this movie. I just don't feel like it's very secure. It's not as secure as people think it is. I think if it does get in, it could just be Licorice Pizza all over again, where it just gets picture, director, and screenplay, and that's it. That could just easily be the case with this film. So again, I could easily just see it get in the Best Picture because it is Paul Thomas Anderson, but I don't know. The other thing I want to say about this film too is that I don't think this film is going to any of the festivals, which is kind of a red flag for me because I think that this movie is just going straight to theaters, and this movie, if it's gonna get an appeal, it's got to do well at the box office. Like this movie has like 150 million budget or something like that, and it's got to do well at the box office, and I feel like it's not gonna do that great. It's probably just gonna break even or gross like 200 mil. So I just don't have the best feelings for this film. And then number 13, I had It Was Just an Accident. Now this movie surprised at Cannes. This film won the Palm, which is a big deal. Okay, because if you look back at the Palm winners throughout the last 5 years, all of them have gone in for Best Picture. All of them, except for Titan. Titan was like the only one, and so that puts in a really good spot. This is directed by an Iranian filmmaker, Shavar Paneev. I'm not saying that right, but that's the director of the film, and I think it could easily get in, but I don't know. It's not secure. It feels like it could just be another round where it just gets international and director, and then that's it, because I don't see any of the actors getting in or it get into any other categories other than these major categories. I think sentimental value just has a lot more appeal to it. I think that's going to be a more crowd friendly movie. But international films, they've been getting in at the Oscars. Last year we had two international films get in with Emilia Perez and I'm Still Here, which was a big shock. So this movie could just easily get in. Right now, it's on the top outskirts. It's at number 12 on the community, and then at number 11 in the community, which is number 14, is Avatar: Fire and Ash. Avatar: The Way of Water got nominated for Best Picture, so why wouldn't this movie get in? Well, I think there's a lot more competition this year compared to 2022, where I think the competition was a little bit more thin, and that's why Way of Water got in. Um, the trailer came out a couple days ago. It looks really good. It's pretty much what you would expect from James Cameron's next movie. But maybe this will be the end point for the Avatar films. Maybe this film just doesn't get in. And then my number 15, this is 14 on the community. This is Hamlet. This is Chloe Zhao's next movie. I don't know much about the movie, but I do know that it is premiering at TIFF, and I think it's premiering at Venice too. Jessie Buckley is the lead in this movie. This movie could also get in. I mean, Chloe Zhao, she got in with Nomadland. Nomadland like won Best Picture and everything. So if it's really good, I think Hamnet could get in. So I would not dismiss this movie at all. And then number 16 is About of a Small Player. This is Edward Berger. Edward Berger has got in with All Quiet on the Western Front and with Conclave. It stars Colin Farrell. Don't know much about the movie, but I do know it's going to the festivals, and that's all that matters. And then we also have No Other Choice. I think this was another Cannes movie. We also have Anemone, which is gonna come out in theaters in December. The reason why I have this movie in, this is not in the community, but the reason why I have this movie in is because it stars Daniel Day-Lewis. His son is actually directing it. Don't know much about the movie, but the fact that Daniel Day-Lewis is coming out of his retirement to be in this movie, and he's just like a juggernaut when it comes to the Oscars, I think that's enough for me to put it somewhere on my Best Picture predictions. So maybe it's just Daniel Day-Lewis, ride or die, who knows. You also got A House of Dynamite. This is Catherine Bigelow's next movie. It's a political thriller film, so I think that may not hit as hard at the Oscars, but it's there. And then number 20 is The Life of Chuck. This movie was actually the People's Choice winner last year, and it was acquired by Neon, but for some reason it just was never released last year. It was released earlier in June, and it didn't do that hot at the box office. So I think, and Neon has acquired other movies such as Sentimental Value, and I think that is a big problem for Life of Chuck because it shows that Neon may not give it an awards campaign for it to get in. And it's crazy too because that won the People's Choice. I mean, the people. If you win the People's Choice at TIFF, you're in the Oscars. Honestly, so it's pretty shocking that Life of Chuck may not get into Best Picture. The only category that I could see it getting in is adapted screenplay, and I don't think it's secure in that category at all. So that's there. You also got The Smash Machine, as mentioned earlier. This is Benny Safdie, the brother of Josh Safdie. Oscar Expert believes that Mario Supreme is the Safdie film that's going to get in the Oscar, and it's not going to be The Smashing Machine. And I think it's because Dwayne Johnson is the lead in The Smashing Machine, and it is a biographical sports drama film, just like Mario Supreme. But I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is not the Oscar player here. It's Timothée Chalamet. But it does look good. Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing that. The Secret Agent, some people have this in their top 10, which is, kind of a question mark for me. I know this premiered at Cannes, I know it's from Brazil, but you gotta be careful with the recency bias, okay? I know I'm Still Here got into Best Picture, and I know The Secret Agent's kind of the same thing. It won an acting prize at Cannes, but the recency bias, you gotta be careful because it doesn't always end up working out. Just because I'm Still Here surprised in Best Picture doesn't mean The Secret Agent's going to do the same. It's probably just going to get international feature, and that's it. Some people are predicting the lead act in that film. and I just don't agree. And then some other stuff that I got here, The Rivals and Zodiac King, which I just think is dead. I just have not heard anybody acquire this movie. It stars Matthew McConaughey. It premiered at some film festival, South. I don't know what. I don't know, whatever. But that film just feels dead to me. It feels like it's gonna be a next year sort of thing. And then Train Dreams and Sorry Baby, which, sorry, I do not see any of those movies getting in. Let's move on to Best Director. Number one, I have Yorgos Lanthimos. If Begonio does win Best Picture, I think Yorgos Lanthimos could win. And Yorgos Lanthimos would be very well deserved because he's been in the game for a long time. He's showing his vision once again, and if this film hits as hard as Poor Things did, maybe he could win. And again, maybe third time's the charm for him. But Ryan Coogler is, I think, probably the more clear front runner. He's number one in the Community right now, and that makes a lot of sense. His film Sinners was a big hit. And big hit with critics and big hit with audiences. And it had like a lot of style to it and everything, and had his own like visual flair. And he could easily win director for Sinners. I could see that easily happening. But I gotta go with Yorgos Lanthimos. I think Yorgos Lanthimos has to get his due, right? Eventually, he's gotta get his due. But Ryan Coogler could just easily win. Again, Sinners is very much like Everything Everywhere All at Once. And then number three is Joachim Trier for Cinema Value. That's pretty obvious. He's gonna get in. It's they love nominating their international directors, and Cinema Value is a big player. I just don't really see how he could miss at the end of the day. And then Pani for It Was Just an Accident. Even though that film doesn't get into Best Picture, I still think he's getting director. He feels like Jonathan Glazer, where he directs a critically acclaimed international movie that obviously won the Palm, and I think he's gonna get in. It just makes a lot of sense. The director's branch is very niche. They love those international directors, and Pani would make a lot of sense. He's like Glazer, he's like Vinterberg. He just makes sense. And the Community has him at number 6, though, but he probably will climb into the top 5 eventually. And number 5 is Josh Safdie. This is number 4 on the Community. If Mario Supreme ends up being the big Oscar player, as we all think that it's going to be, then I think he's going to get in. The Safdies have been putting up good work. Have been putting some good work out there. It's very interesting that they're directing 2 different features, because I really thought that they were going to direct the feature together to get them to the Oscars. But it looks like it may be just Josh Safdie, and that'd be fine, because Josh Safdie is a big player. But next in line, I do have Mona Fastvold, Testament of Ann Lee. This is going to be a very stylish movie, and again, this is the wife of Brady Corbet from The Brutalist, and if this gets director, it would make a lot of sense. I'm telling you, Ann Lee, that image there, it's going to be a wild one for this movie, and I'm looking forward to watching it. It's premiering at Venice, but she would make a lot of sense to get director. I just can't really squeeze her in the top 5 right now, but we'll see what happens. And then number 7 is Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another. The director's branch loves Paul Thomas Anderson. He could just easily get in at the end of the day. But I would need to see like a DGA nomination for him to get in. I really think that One Battle After Another may end up not doing as well at the Oscars. And if that happens, where does that put PTA? He's gotta get something big, and I just can't put him in at the moment. And Noah Baumbach, Jay Kelly. I think Noah Baumbach would be a good pick, but again, he needs to get the nominations because I don't think Jay Kelly is going to be that visually stunning. The director's branch loves nominating visually stunning films and international films. They like style. They're very niche like that. They're very picky. They nominate some interesting things, and they didn't nominate Baumbach for Marriage Story. So I think he has an uphill climb. Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. If that film has a lot of visual style and becomes an Oscar player, she could potentially get in. Number 10, Scott Cooper. Now you may be shocked that I have him at number 10, because in the Community he's at 25th or something like that. So why do I have Scott Cooper at number 10? Very easy. A Complete Unknown got into Best Director last year. Very shocking that James Mangold got a director nomination for Complete Unknown, because that movie, not a lot of visual style. Very shocking that he got in. It felt very much like a career thing, and Scott Cooper has directed movies in the past, and maybe he could get an Oscar nomination because if Springsteen does very well, and I'm just saying that I just don't think you can underestimate it. I mean, even Elvis was in contention for director, and he got the Golden Globe for Elvis, and that could happen with Scott Cooper. I would not dismiss this movie at all for director, even though it doesn't seem like the movie that would get director. But if it's big in Best Picture, it's gonna be big in director, and that's what happened with The Complete Unknown. Like, don't underestimate Scott Cooper. I'm not saying he's gonna get in because I think there's way better picks here, but I wouldn't underestimate it. And then Guillermo del Toro is number 11 for Frankenstein. That's, that makes sense. It's a visually stunning film. It looks really good. It's Guillermo del Toro. He's won in this category before, and the director's branch likes him. But considering the competition here, it may be hard for him to get in. Right now he's number 7 on the Community, but I think it may be a little trickier for him to get in. Park Chan-wook for No Other Choice, another international director, one that I know the Oscar expert loves a lot. So he has potential. Luca Guadagnino, After the Hunt, probably not going to happen, especially since he hasn't. Did he get nominated for Call Me by Your Name? I don't remember, but even that movie's in Best Picture. I don't think he's going to come along. John Chu for Wicked for Good. He's not going to get nominated. Pretty crazy that he won the Critics' Choice for Wicked, though. I don't know what's up with that, but I don't think he's going to get in for that. James Cameron for Iron Ass. Maybe he gets like a Golden Globe along with Chu, but again, don't think either of those directors are going to get in for what's basically a box office grab. I also got Catherine Bigelow in here, Hikari, Rental Family, Edward Berger, Ballad of a Small Player, just because he almost got in for Conclave. Ballad of a Small Player does end up being a contender, something to look out for. And then the director of Secret Agent. I am not going to try to pronounce that name. I think I've already messed up enough international directors' names at this point. Alright, Best Actor now. Number 1, I have Jeremy Allen White. This just makes sense. He's playing Bruce Springsteen. He's transforming and everything. He's gonna be loud. He's going to be singing. He's gonna be energetic. He's gonna do all those things that get you Oscar nomination. It's a very Oscar baity performance, but he's a good actor, and I think he's gonna get nominated. Whether or not he wins is another thing, but I think this is pretty obvious that he's in the game. Number 2, Timothée Chalamet, Mari Supreme. This also makes sense. Mari Supreme, again, if it's in the Best Picture, he's going to get Best Actor. And he almost won it for Complete Unknown last year. So he's in. I think he's a good chance. Brendan Fraser, I have a number 3, which may surprise people. Because Brendan Fraser was someone that people were not predicting initially. But then the still came out, and it was announced he was going to TIFF, and now Rental Family is in the top 10, and yeah, Brendan Fraser is obviously going to get nominated if this movie is in Best Picture. That makes a lot of sense. George Clooney, Jay Kelly, he's the face of that film. Jay Kelly is a Netflix movie, and Netflix is going to campaign this movie. They're going to campaign George Clooney. Maybe George Clooney doesn't get in. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio didn't get in for Killers of the Flower Moon, which was shocking. Sometimes these things just happen. And again, he hasn't been nominated an acting Oscar since The Descendants. So I think he's a good bet though for now. So I would stick with George Clooney. Jesse Plemons, Begonia. He doesn't look like he's doing anything that would be crazy or anything, but he is Jesse Plemons, and he's been nominated before, and I do hope that he can get in. This is a very competitive category because number 6 I have Daniel Day-Lewis. And Daniel Day-Lewis, if you keep track of this stuff, he gets nominated for almost everything that he does. His last film that he got nominated for was Phantom Thread, which was released almost 10 years ago. Can you believe that already? And I think that it's kind of hard. In fact, I was really debating between him and Jesse Plemons because I thought about putting him in the top five, but I decided to leave him out for now. But he could easily just get in. And then number 7, I have Oscar Isaac for Frankenstein. Oscar Isaac is going to be good in this movie, and yeah, I know that there's a lot of competition here, but if Frankenstein's in Best Picture and he gets the push, especially if Netflix decides to push Oscar Isaac instead of George Clooney, I think he can get in. Oscar Isaac's been in the game long enough to where I think he'd be deserving of a Best Actor nomination. Like, let's get him his nomination. Now, you may be surprised that I have Michael B. Jordan at number 8. He is number 6 in the community, though. A lot of people think that Michael B. Jordan's going to get nominated for Sinners. But my issue, especially since Sinners looks like it could win Best Picture potentially, but the thing with Sinners is that it doesn't seem like there's any actors that look like they are obviously going to get nominated, even though they're all good. Like, Sinners is probably going to get SAG Ensemble, but it may not get any actors nominated. Michael B. Jordan will probably get SAG, though, as well as Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, maybe even BAFTA. But here's my issue with it. He is playing a dual role performance, and tell me a performance that has gotten nominated to the Oscars that was a dual lead or a dual role or whatever. I mean, I can't think of really a single example in which that's ever happened at the Academy. So I have a hard time putting in Michael B. Jordan because of that. I think that he has an uphill climb. Could he get nominated? Sure. He's in Sinners, potentially winning Best Picture. So yeah, I could see him getting in, but right now I just can't really put him in at the moment. And then number 9, I have DiCaprio in. He's number 7 in the community, and I don't know. I feel like people have just gotten past the phase of nominating DiCaprio for everything that he does. He hasn't been nominated since Hollywood. He didn't get nominated for Don't Look Up. He didn't get nominated for Killers, which was shocking because that seemed like a pretty obvious performance to get nominated for. And again, I just don't have the best vibes with that movie overall. So could he get in? Yeah, but he needs to get the nominations, and if he doesn't get SAG, I don't think DiCaprio's getting nominated. He probably will get Golden Globe, but I don't know. And then Colin Farrell, Ballad of a Small Player. Again, if this movie is a contender, I could see him getting in. It's possible, but he really would need to get a push. This is a very competitive category, honestly. Because then even at number 11, Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent, he won an acting prize at Cannes, and some people are putting him in his top 5 because they think he's going to pull like a Fernando Torres or whatever. And wow, I don't think that's going to happen. I can't totally ignore it. So I mean, it's a pretty competitive category. Who knows? Maybe Dwayne Johnson gets in for the Smashing Machine. Probably not, but it's there. I also put in Matthew McConaughey for Mzia King, but I don't think that's gonna happen. That movie just feels like it's dead. It's not even going to any of the festivals here. And then some other stuff here that's probably not gonna happen, like Willem Dafoe for Late Fame. Don't know anything about that. Benedict Cumberbatch, and all these other performances that I have at the bottom. They're just kind of there at the moment. Could something else pop up? Sure, but I think this top 12 that I have is pretty solid, and any of these actors could honestly get in. Now for Best Actress, Best Actress, I don't think there's like a clear front runner for who could win in this category, but right now I have Julie Roberts for After the Hunt. The trailer came out. She looks really good. She feels like she's doing a lot. This would be a big breakout role for her because she hasn't been in something very big. And I think that she is easily in. She could easily get nominated for this. So I think that she's a good bet to predict, even if she doesn't get the nomination. Number 2, I have Emma Stone for Begonia. It's possible she could be supporting, but it's Emma Stone in a Yorgos Lanthimos movie. Okay? And the trailer makes it seem like she's a co-lead with Jesse Plemons. Like, she's going to be campaigned and lead, folks, okay? So she's pretty obviously in. I don't know why the community has her at number 6. I just do not agree with that at all. I think that Begonia getting the Best Picture, how do you not nominate Emma Stone? Doesn't make any sense. She is going to get nominated, folks, okay? Maybe win, but probably not. But still, why would you not have her in your top 5? I think that's kind of head-scratching. But number 3, I do have Renee Rautzfa. She's number 1 in the Community. Makes a lot of sense. I get it. But I'm just going with a different number 1 for right now. I'm not saying that, oh, she doesn't have a chance of winning. Like, no, Renee Rautzfa, if she wins, that would be awesome. Because I heard she's really good in this movie. But she's obviously getting in. Number 4, Amanda Seyfried. Testament of Van Lee. Van Lee's in Best Picture. She's obviously going to get in. She's doing a lot. Going to be doing a lot in that movie. She's going to be crazy. She's going to be a crazy Quaker in the 17th century. And then number 5, I have Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. I think there's enough. She'll do enough to where I think she could get in. I think that Jessie Buckley looks like she could get nominated. And then number 6, I have Sydney Sweeney for Christie. This is like a boxing film. I think it's a biographical boxing film or something like that. Very Oscar baity performance. Wouldn't totally ignore it. You may be shocked that I don't have Cynthia Erivo in the top 5 for Wicked for Good, but you just kind of have to ask yourself, is Cynthia Erivo really going to get nominated for the same performance again 2 years in a row? I mean, I guess it's happened before where an actor portrays the same character and they, get nominated for the same performance. Al Pacino did it for The Godfather, Part 1 and Part 2. But I don't know. Wicked for Good kind of feels like Doom Part 2, where it's going to get like half of the nominations that it got. And I'm just saying that this is one of the nominations that it just doesn't get. I don't know what to say. But I do get why people are predicting her, because I don't people doubted her for Wicked for Good, or for the first Wicked. But you know what? Maybe she just doesn't get the nominations this time around, folks. Who knows? Jennifer Lawrence, heard she was really good in Die My Love, but that movie doesn't seem like it's going to have an appeal for her to get in. I wouldn't totally ignore her, though. She could definitely just get in. She is Jennifer Lawrence. And then a lot of these other stuff here is just kind of random because I just don't really know what else to do outside of that top 8. Tessa Thompson for Hedda, Jessie Lang, Long Day's Journey in Life, and then some other stuff here. Yep, I got 2 kitties now, so they are in this video too, and they will be in future videos as well. Moving on to supporting actor, I have Stellan Skarsgård at number 1 for Sentimental Value. I heard that he possibly could go lead, but I'm keeping him in supporting, because if he's in supporting, I think he's obviously gonna win. He's an actor who's been in the field for a long time. I think this would be his first Oscar nomination, believe it or not. And he'd be really well deserved for it. So I think he's pretty obviously in. And number 2 is Adam Sandler. A lot of people have been hyping him up to get nominated for this movie. And I think it makes a lot of sense to get in. I wouldn't mind seeing Adam Sandler get an Oscar nomination, especially if he ends up being really good. He's putting up a really great performance. And then number 3, Jeremy Strong, Delivering from Nowhere. He's just coming off of The Apprentice. And I think he's playing Springsteen's manager or something like that. He's going to be good. I think that one makes a lot of sense. And then Andrew Garfield after The Hunt. The trailer came out for that film, and he looks like he's doing a lot. So I definitely think that he can get in for that. And number 5 is kind of like a wild card, because the number 4 spot in the Community is Delroy Lindo for Sinners. But number 5, I have Takiro Hira for Rental Family. Like, Rental Family feels like it's gonna get a supporting nomination somewhere. I don't know if it's in this category or in supporting actress, but it feels like it's gonna get a supporting acting nomination somewhere. And I'm just kind of taking a bet that it's gonna be this actor. I could be totally wrong on this, but I feel pretty good. But I feel like there's enough evidence to where he could be it. Again, I don't know who is the obvious supporting actor in that film. I'm just taking a swing at it and seeing what happens. But number 6, I have Sean Penn for One Battle After Another. I think he could get in very easily. Number 7, maybe a little surprising, but it's Jonathan Bailey. Jonathan Bailey, character Fierro, he actually has a bigger role in the second half of Wicked, the musical. Like, his role's actually bigger in that film. So he's going to be in the film a lot more than in the first Wicked film. And And as we saw, Jonathan Bailey got a random SAG nomination for Wicked, and he could easily get a SAG nomination for this movie as well. So I would not underestimate Jonathan Bailey here. I think that he could easily get nominated. Um, but then I do have both of the Sinners boys next, Miles Catron and Delroy Lindo. People think that Delroy Lindo's the one who's gonna get in, but I really do not know, to be honest, because Miles Cannon is the bigger role in that film, and I know it is a child actor, but child actors have gotten in at the Oscars. It's not unprecedented. And Delroy Lindo, I mean, he didn't even get in for The Five Bloods, so what makes us think that he's going to get in for Sinners? It kind of feels like it's wishful thinking. I don't know, but I would like to see one of them get in, maybe both. I mean, but I just don't know which one it is. And then number 10 is Kira Imoto. This is the other rental family supporting actor. But again, I don't know which supporting actor is going to be prioritized. So I have him in at number 10, but he could easily just be number 5. Just think of him as being exchangeable with Takeo Hira. And then number 11 is Michael Schoenberg for After the Hunt. I heard that his performance is pretty good in the movie, especially from the trailer, giving some good vibes, but I think they're going to focus on Andrew Garfield. Number 12, Louis Pullman, just in case Ann Lee gets a supporting actor in somewhere. Stephen Graham from Springsteen, I don't know, maybe. Robert Pattinson, Die My Love. I heard some good things about his performance, but it's probably not going to happen. I will mention that, Jude Law, in The Wizards of the Kremlin, that he's playing, Vladimir Putin or something like that, so, that could be something to watch out for, but who knows. Moving on to supporting actress now. Number 1, I have Elle Fanning right now for sentimental value. She could maybe win for this. I don't really know who's going to win this category, because number 2 is Ariana Grande, and, as you can see, the community has Grande at number 1, I have Elle Fanning, so who knows what's going to happen here. Ariana Grande I do have in, but that's because, I think that she just has an easier time getting in for supporting. I feel like it's just easier to get into supporting as opposed to lead when it comes to these sort of dual lead performances. So that's why I have Grande in and not Arrivo, but who knows. And then again, Aya Adibri for After the Hunt. Again, she was in The Bear with Jeremy Allen White, and she looks really good in the trailer, and I think that she can get in. Number 4, I have Laura Dern for Jay Kelly. Jay Kelly looks like it's just gonna have really good acting performances. Marriage Story had very good acting performances as well, and I think she can get in. And then I have Inga. I'm not gonna try and pronounce the rest of the name, but also her for cinema value. I heard she's also really good. I think she's Renee Redfield's sister or something in the film, Cinema value could easily just get 4 acting nominations. It's happened before. But then I do have Thomasin McKenzie for The Testament of Anne Lee. She could easily get in too. Especially if that film's in Best Picture. She would make a lot of sense to get in, actually. And if that film looks more secure in Best Picture, I'm probably going to put her in over Inga. Or Laura Dern. And then number 7, another rental family supporting actress, Mari Yamamoto. We'll see what happens with that. Gwyneth Paltrow, Mari Supreme. She's probably going to be really good in it, but I think there's other actresses in here that may end up getting priority over her. And then I have 2 center actresses here. Wumi Mosoku and then Haley Steinfeld for Sinners. But again, don't know which, just like with the other 2 center actors, I don't know which one they're going to prioritize. So I just have them neck and neck there. Then Rebecca Ferguson for House of Dynamite. I don't know, maybe. A lot of people are predicting Glenn Close for Wake Up Dead Man, the new Knives Out movie, but I just gotta leave it in mind that we tried nominating a supporting actress in Glass Onion, and it didn't really work out. So I would not take too much stock into that, but it's possible. We'll see what happens. And Jennifer Lopez for Kiss the Spy Woman, I don't know, maybe. And then And then I just got like some other things in here. So who the hell knows? All right, moving on to original screenplay, I have Sinners at number 1. This feels like an original concept film, a very original idea, just like Everything Everywhere was, and they like giving it to those sort of original, inventive screenplays, those very out there screenplays, and I think that one makes a lot of sense. I think that film could easily get in. I think that film could easily win screenplay. The Community has sentimental value at number 1, which is interesting. And that film could easily win screenplay too. I think those two are going to be neck and neck throughout the entire year. Either way, they're both easily in. They're both easily going to get nominated. Rental Family, I have at number 3. This just got the top 5 in the Community. I have it at 3 because if this film's the best picture, it's obviously going to get screenplay. Like, how can you not predict it for screenplay? And then number 4 is Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme theme, Josh Safdie. Makes a lot of sense for screenplay, doesn't it? I think it's gonna get in. And then number 5, Jay Kelly. This is Noam Baumbach. Why would you not nominate Noam Baumbach? Where are you going? Where are you going? Don't you want to be a lap cat too? Huh? Don't you want to be a lap cat? Yeah. Are you gonna be a lap cat too? Or are you just gonna run away? Then number 6, I have The Testament of Anne Lee. I really want to put this in at screenplay because it just feels like it's gonna get in, but I don't know, man. It is a musical. Sometimes they can be a little funny with musicals. I mean, they nominated Emilia Perez last year, but you know that was pretty obvious that was gonna get in considering the competition. So I really don't know with this movie, to be honest. I don't know if it's gonna get in or not. But I really want to put in screenplay. I just feel a little bit better about what I have above it. And then number 7, After the Hunt. Again, After the Hunt, I feel like it could just easily get snubbed in screenplay. I mean, you see the competition already. I mean, After the Hunt kind of seems a little bit of a stretch for that to get into screenplay, especially since it needs to get screenplay to get into Best Picture. So I don't know. And then it gets better. It gets better, folks. It was just an accident. If this movie gets into Best Picture, it's going to get a screenplay nomination. I mean, The Zone of Interest got a screenplay over Killers of the Flower Moon, in which that film ended up getting into Best Picture. So, I don't know, man. I think After the Hunt, I think that movie could easily get into screenplay. I probably should put that at number 6, but I don't know. I don't know. This category is pretty competitive, just like Best Actor. And then it gets it settles down a little bit here. A House of Dynamite, I don't know, maybe. In fact, this may actually be adapted. I'm not sure. Sorry Baby, maybe, but probably not. Everything else here, I think, like, could possibly get in. I hear some people are, like, starting to put, like, Splitville in, because that's been rising up, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't really quite put anything else. I think this top 8 is, like, really competitive, and a lot of things could happen with this category. I think this category looks like it's gonna be pretty competitive this year. All right, moving on to adapted screenplay. I have Begonia at number 1. I think this makes sense. I could easily see this movie winning screenplay, but who knows? Something else could pop up. Maybe PTA finally gets his Oscar because I have him at number 2 for One Matter After Another. But again, I don't have that movie in Best Picture. I'm not confident in that movie in Best Picture. So. That's why I don't have that movie at number 1 right now. But he could easily win. Number 3, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. That's going to get nominated, folks, okay? A Complete Unknown got into Best Picture. I know it's a music biopic, but if it's in Best Picture, I think this is going to get in. I know people are going to try and deny this movie, but it is in the top 5 in the community. So the community does recognize that this movie is pretty inevitable in screenplay. Sometimes these things just happen, even if you don't want them to happen. Number 4, Wake Up Dead Man. The Knives Out films have been a very sure bet in the screenplay categories. Glass Onion got in 2022, and I think that this one will probably get in as well. Number 5 I have is Hamnet. I think I have this in just because I feel better about this movie in screenplay over Frankenstein, which I don't know about that movie getting into screenplay, even if it does get into Best Picture. I just don't know. Don't walk on my keyboard, Piper. You're gonna mess me up. So Frankenstein is number 6. That's actually number 6 in the community too, so we're pretty hand in hand there. Number 7, Ballad of a Small Player. You know, again, it's a maybe, and she's gonna go off and do her own thing. Ballad of a Small Player. You know, Conclave won. That's all I gotta say about that. Wicked for Good. They're gonna try and get in this time around, but again, since I think this movie is probably gonna be Dune Part 2, I think it's gonna have a hard shot of getting in. Life of Chuck feels like it could get a screenplay nomination really easily, but I just don't think this movie is gonna get the campaign push for it to get into screenplay. So, I mean, I would like to put it in my top 5, but I just can't put Life of Chuck in. I mean, I just can't. And then No Other Choice, number 10. And then number 11, I have Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Oscar Expert put this movie in their top 5 kind of randomly. So, you know, this could maybe be like a WGA nomination sort of thing, and a Borat or something like that. I don't know. So it's just like kind of there. Train Dreams is a maybe, and then I got some other things here too. So that's what I got for screenplay. So those are my upper acting predictions and picture, director, and screenplay nomination predictions for the month of August. I will be making another video predicting the rest of the categories since this video is already too long, I'm sure. I look forward to making more prediction videos like this. I hope you like the comparison aspect of it, and let me know what you think of it, and if you like that sort of format for predicting videos. I watch a lot of Oscar prediction videos, and I don't think I've really seen someone comparing between things like that. If you like that sort of format, then I'll continue it. If not, maybe I'll just stick to my own predictions and not compare to Award Expert. But I figured I'd try something new and just do a little comparison here and there. So thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Who do you think is correct in their Oscar predictions?